Today we're going to do a review of the iPhone 5. Nah, who cares about the iPhone anyway? Hi there, Adam here. Today we're going to do an XDA unboxing and teardown of the X909 Oppo Find 5. Now I really want to thank Oppo for allowing me to be part of their pre-release review program. I'm honored to be a part of that. This thing comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, quad-core, 2 gigs of memory, and a 1080 display. The specs on this are ridiculous. So let's get started. This box is gigantic. Let's bust open the seal here. Inside we have some paper with Chinese writing on it. I don't really know what any of this says. It could be an insult or something. I find it interesting that they would actually pack that entire box and seal it, and then have this little tiny box inside of it. So here we have the actual box, the Oppo Find 5, and let's open it up, see what's inside. Now this feels like, yep, this is a magnetic box, and in here we have the Oppo Find 5. And here we have an inspected by number 3 tag in Chinese. A advertisement for some services. We have a SIM insertion tool, user's manual, a card in Chinese, and a couple of NFC tags. Here we have the micro USB cable. This is a neat packaging for a micro USB cable. We got the headphone cables. Standard 4-pole headphone with a button and a microphone. This is a 5-volt, 1000 milliamp charger. So here we have the Oppo Find 5. You'll notice here we have a dual flash and a camera. There is a micro USB port on the bottom, volume up and down on the right side of the device, and power on the left side of the device. About the same configuration as you'll find on most Samsungs. The headphone jack is on the top, which makes it good for sticking into your pocket and listening to some music if you want to. So let's turn it on. Now usually I don't do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the screen protector because it has some large areas that you can't view through. Alright, and now this display on here is very, very high quality. I can't really show that to you on the camera and everything, but this display, you would have to see it to believe it. It appears that what they've done here is they've done a pretty good job of skinning this device. You'll notice the Chrome isn't the standard Chrome icon, the Play Store isn't the standard Play Store, but they're inspired by the original icons. They did a really good job of graphic design on this. Alright, so the Oppo Find 5 has no screws on the back. It's all just pressure fit in place. Now, what we can do is we can take a guitar pick and try to get underneath that. So the next thing we need to do is to remove this tape and the NFC sticker. Now, the thing I don't like about when manufacturers decide to use tape is that the tape tends to rip and come apart. And in order to complete removal of this tape, we have to remove this plastic piece right here. And here we have the NFC. And now we can disconnect the battery. This is a 3.8 volt, 2500 milliamp hour battery. Alright, so next we'll continue removing these screws. Here we have the stereo speakers, and we have antennas that hook up from the bottom and press fit right onto these connections right here. Now the speakers press fit onto these connections. And here we have 2 more antennas, as well as the cover for the dual LEDs. And here's the 13 megapixel camera module. We'll keep this upside down because we don't want any dust to get into there. Now we'll finish removing these connectors, and the board should just lift out of here. So now let's remove these EMF shields. And here's a close-up of the board for you guys. Now, one of the first things I'm noticing about this board is that there isn't much conformal coating on all the chips surrounding the main processor unit. The main processor, while you can't really see it, is right under here. Now, according to some of the guys on Google+, according to some of the guys in the Hangout, this is the RAM chip right here. Now, according to some of the guys in the Hangout, this right here is the 2 GB RAM chip. It doesn't quite make sense to me that the RAM chip would be so far separated from the processor. So now, what I'm noticing here is that the overall on the board, I'm not seeing any impact zones, and that is something that I find to be a pretty standard feature on every single Samsung device. This is a Galaxy S1 board here, and you'll notice these little holes that are around the areas that it mounts to the board. Those are the impact zones. This one does not have any. Impact zones keep components from popping off the board, and with the device, maybe it isn't such an important feature on this particular device with how sturdy it is. It's something that I do like to see. And if you look right here on the board, you may be able to see that there is a debug connector of some kind. One of these days, maybe I will cut away this shield that's covering it and take a look at that. You can't get away from ribbon cable sometimes, and the way they did this is actually fairly unobtrusive. So if you're taking apart the device, it's okay because you're not having to deal with this ribbon cable. You're not having to flex it around all the time. It's part of the back case, and that's a good thing. That's the way I like to see it. So I can't really say much about this unit right now from a developer perspective. I just got ADB working last night. You'll be watching this tomorrow, so yeah, last night would be now. But so far from what I've seen from the company, they are willing to work with us, and I was able to get a ADB binary from their engineers. But I found out if you launch their version of ADB, then you can use any ADB you want to communicate. Now, we've already eliminated, myself and recognized developer TrebD, we've already eliminated the possibility of the ADB USB.ini file, so haven't really figured out what it is they did. But however, it does require a special fast boot and a special ADB, and one can only hope that they commit their changes to the AOSP source tree. This unit is based on MIUI, so full source release may not be possible. Again, that would be another gig on it being a good developer phone. And there's no kernel source, which would be a gig on just about everything we stand for here on XDA. However, I must say that this screen is absolutely outstanding on this device. The interface is beautifully skinned. The experience is just wonderful. The graphical user interface runs really smooth, and overall this phone is really quick. So, given all that, I guess, being that this phone was released just yesterday, you'll be watching this tomorrow, so yeah, today would be yesterday. Yesterday in China, that is. So we can give them a few more days to release their source code and ADB binaries and commit their stuff upstream, and, well, we hope they're going to do that. So that's all for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and add me to your circles on Google+. Go to plus.adamoutler.com. Until next time, wait, did I hack anything? Yeah, that's right. Hack on!